Good afternoon and welcome to another ACY Securities Market Update. My name is Alistair Schultz and I'm going to be your host through today's trading journey. Now, to start off, I've got a little bit of a virus update for you. I know I did one this morning, but I just want to signify how quickly this virus is actually spreading across the globe. So before, when we were speaking, it was about 173,000. We're now sitting at 177,000. And the number of deaths still remain the same, but they tend to be updated a little bit later, and I tend to find them out the following day. Regardless of that, it's still important to know what's really going on around the coronavirus at this moment, especially with all the volatility surrounding it and its effect on price. So moving a bit beyond that, we have the RBA. Now, I mentioned this morning that at 11:30 a.m. there was going to be a monetary policy statement that came out from the RBA. Now, what was in that statement was really nothing major. It was the minutes from the most recent meeting, but we just wanted to see what their feelings and thoughts were towards the future to get a bit of an insight on whether they might be doing another cut next time round. So what we've seen from those meeting minutes was that we had where they're expecting an extended period of low rates. The board has agreed that the coronavirus is going to affect the Australian economy. What they don't know is how long it's going to affect it for. And they believe that containment is to be unlikely and that we are going to see significant spread of the virus across Australia. Now, taking that into account, we have to look at the metrics that come with it, and the RBA has as well, and they are expecting the Q1 growth to be a little bit weaker, and they're kind of finding it hard to predict how long it's really going to go for, and if we're going to see Q2 damage as well as Q3 and Q4 and throughout the rest of the year. So they're saying that it's hard to predict how slow we're going to end up going, especially when it comes to GDP growth. Now, the other parts they have to sort of mention to you all is that the next meeting is going to be on the 7th of April this year. Now, it is at this point in time expected that there is a 100% chance that they'll be decreasing the rate from 0.50 down to 0.25%. And they will likely be, from the market side of things, considering that the rest of the world is seeing that it is going to be very likely to occur, that there will likely be some pricing in ahead of schedule before we actually see the release of it. But you never know. So either way, it is something to look forward to in the future, expecting that there's going to be another rate cut. You might have a little bit more time to sort of consider how you might be going to trade it and the opportunities around it. Now, some other sideways news that we have that's come in from it is actually from Egypt. Now, Egypt cut 300 basis points today off their target rate, and this is kind of concerning because tourism makes up 12% of Egypt's GDP. Now, at the moment, they've only got 150 COVID-19 cases, and they haven't had too many deaths. However, to try and prevent the spread of that and to try and keep themselves on top, especially when it comes to that tourism aspect, they're closing their borders between March 19th and the 31st. So all air traffic is likely to be halted, and we're expecting to see them have a little bit of a slowdown as well. Now, I believe at this current point in time, after doing the 300 basis point cut, their interest rate is now sitting somewhere in the 10% range. So that might be a market to have a look at, especially if you're looking at sort of Egyptian stocks and futures and all commodities, but more specifically the tourism aspect, especially considering how tied to tourism Egypt really is in this day and age. Now, for the news ahead, we have covered this already. They've been through the 11:30 this morning report on the RBA. We are expecting German zoo report data to be coming out at 9 p.m. At 11 p.m, US retail sales. And of course, all day tentative, all through the night, EU Economic Summit results coming through. So keep an eye on the EU Economic Summit stuff, because there is likely going to be some unscheduled releases, especially if there are speeches occurring from members that are participating in the summit. Now, that's all we have for today. If you have any questions or you'd like to get in contact with me, feel free to send me an email at talktoal@acy.com. And of course, like and subscribe the video so you can get more great content from us and ACY Securities in the future. Have a good trading day ahead.